I mean, at least tell us in terms of season 4 how it would compare versus the previous seasons?
We're doing, we're keeping it the same, but we're also growing with the show
Okay,
and really striving to take it into a new place,
sure.
but at the same time not losing what makes the show amazing and what everybody loves about it.
Right, right. And on that note of growing, how do you think that how do you think you've sort of transcended, or how do you think you've grown as a writer from season 1 to season 4?
Um, I really know the characters so much better, obviously. Having, I wrote on seasons 1 and 2 and then
Hmm.
had time off, and then came back on season 4. And when I did, it was like just coming back and hanging out with old friends again when
Sure.
I got to write for the ponies again. So it was really, really fun. And I actually ended up writing for characters that I hadn't written for a bit,
Sure.
at least not in uh, they weren't big parts of my script, I guess
Hmm.
I'll say.
Right.
And so I got to really explore things with them, and I really got so it was just really fun, and I had a lot more confidence with them because in season 1 it was a lot of finding our footing,
Hmm.
and um, season two was season 2 was a lot of fun because we were kind of figuring things out a lot more.
Hmm.
And the interesting thing is, season 3 that I wasn't on season 3,
Right.
but during when season 3 was going on, I was working on Care Bears. That's when season 2 was airing, and lots of crazy stuff was going on as far as a certain character who was on and then changed and such. So, like, if you know what I mean. Um, so, and then, and things, it was interesting because, and then I started going to cons in between those two.
Hmm.
So it's just been a very interesting journey. So when I started writing on when I stopped writing, when I was done with season 2, there wasn't um, this huge explosion of the bronies at that point, at
Right.
least from my experience. I knew of them,
Hmm.
but I hadn't really been personally exposed to them. And then by the time I started writing on season 4, I had been to BronyCon, and so it was a very different experience. So
A
it's
fresh
been,
perspective, right?
yeah, very fresh perspective,
Right.
and really just seeing how the show affected people,
Sure.
and that it really changed a lot of people's lives, which I knew we were doing something. I was very, very proud of the show when it started airing, and I told all the moms of daughters, saying you should have your daughters watch this show. It's a very strong show. It has good role models, and 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 I felt very proud of it, and I wanted I wanted people to know about it, and that's not always true of everything I work on. And then to see all these other people that I didn't expect um, to to enjoy the show and meet them and really see how deeply it affected them was really amazing.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And then tell me about because I mean I did some research. I looked at the Kickstarter. So Jason Bateman thinks I'm dead. I
Yes.
watched the YouTube, the Great Little Rocking Song.
Hmm.
So how did this whole thing? I mean, so you knew him, you
Yes.
were friends with him, but so was the fact that someone thought you were dead, was that sort of something that maybe psychologically spearheaded the project?
Well, so what happened was, when I was 8, um, Jason Bateman and I were kind of boyfriend and girlfriend,
Hmm.
and we kissed. But then after that, we kind of broke up. He kind of had a couple girlfriends during that, like, was it 8 or 9? It was when we were in 4th grade.
Hmm.
And then between my fifth grade and sixth grade year, I was uh, diagnosed with a benign brain tumor.
Right.
And then when I returned, it was removed right before sixth grade began. And when I came back, Jason wasn't at school anymore because he was working on Little House on the Prairie. So he called me and he had heard that I had died because of this brain tumor. And I explained, hey, no, I'm not dead. And then we didn't see each other because he was busy acting and I was busy not acting. Um, and then we saw each other when we were 14, and I just kind of went up to him and said, "Hey, Jason, it's Amy Keating." And he looked at me like I was a ghost, and he said, "Oh my God, I thought you were dead." And he'd completely forgotten the conversation we had had when we were 11, and I said, "No, I told you I'm not dead." And then we didn't see each other, um, you know, since then. And we both work in the entertainment industry, and he's done voices on shows that I've worked on, but we've never run into each other. We've both been to, award ceremonies, but never crossed paths. We both gonna like we both live in Los Angeles, and like I'll talk to people and they're like, "Oh yeah, Jason Bateman was at this place." I'll be like, "Really?" Because I was there last week. We just never cross
Mm-hmm.
paths. And I just jokingly said to my husband one night, I said, "I wonder if Jason still thinks I'm dead. I wonder if all these years later, if he forgot the second time when I was 14 and told him." And I said, "Wouldn't it be funny if I made a documentary of me trying to find him and tell him that I'm not dead?" And so I just, my husband thought that sounded hilarious. And so I got a video camera and just started trying to find people because we had so many people in common,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to get to him. And it ended up being, there were points where I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is going to be too easy. It's going to happen in 5 minutes. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be the most, this is going to be the dumbest project ever." And it ended up just uh, time after time, I kept getting shut down and shut down and shut down all
Mm-hmm.
through the project. Anytime I thought I had a lead, it was thwarted, and it ended up, and then so I had all this footage, and then I never edited a movie before,
Mm-hmm.
and so I had to learn how to edit, and it was just this huge thing I took on, and to try and find Jason and try and put this whole thing together.
So it's not available, so
It's no.
you'll never tell us if you found him, or we have to wait.
Oh, what I'm thinking of doing is dividing it up into sections
Mm-hmm.
and putting it up on YouTube,
Cool.
uh, because it is finished.
Mm-hmm.
And the point, I tried to get it into festivals,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody picked it up. I tried to get it distributed, and while people really enjoyed it and thought it was really cute,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't think it was going to make any money, which is what people want when they pick
Right.
up a movie.
Sure.
So they said, "Yeah, adorable, but no thanks." Um, and so once it got to that point, it's like, okay, I'm not going to make any money off of this.
Sure.
And I don't, I could self distribute, but that just seems like a big pain in the tuchus.
Right.
So I go, okay, well, then I should just put it up for free so that people can see it
Yes.
and watch my silly journey, because I'm quite ridiculous. Um, and and then it's kind of just out there for the universe to enjoy.
What you should do is, I'm serious.
Uh-huh.
You've heard of Fandor, right?
No.
So Fandor is this outlet for filmmakers that they can upload their films, and it's a pay service. So if you have like a Roku box or a Nintendo Wii and you watch Fandor on those people subscribe to Fandor, and every time your film is watched on that service, you get money.
Okay.
So I mean, a lot of filmmakers are doing that now.
But the problem is, um, the problem is the whole the copywritten materials. That's where I get into a pickle, because the way I edited it, well, first I have music that's not mine.
Mm,
So I would have to replace that.
Sure.
I just, pure and simple, I don't have the rights to those. And I'm such a, you know, I'm just me. I'm just, I, I have songs in there that I have a hard time giving up, and I know I should just get over myself
Hmm.
and replace it.
Sure.
It's in the as I do these flashback sequences in it,
Uh-huh.
retelling the story of me and Jason,
Hmm.
and so I use music that's appropriate to the time period. So I have some Bee Gees in there, and I have some Blondie in there, and so for me, it's hard to just pop in any other music
Right.
because the Bee Gees were the Bee Gees and Blondie's Blondie. Um,
Salt and
so,
pepper wouldn't work there.
right, you can't just put in generic,
Right.
whatever music
Hmm.
because you know anyhow, so that's the biggest problem. I also, the way I edited it, I have lots of images that I
Hmm.
pulled from the internet that are probably fair use,
Sure.
quite honestly.
Hmm.
And I'm not that worried about those because of that. They're very brief, they're part of the storytelling. So I'm not, it's the music that's the real,
Gotcha.
hitch in the giddy up. See, hitching the giddy up,
There
something
you
that
go.
Jack would say, but something that I say all the time.
Right.
Uh,
It's a pony pun.
it's a pony pun, but it's actually something that it's an Amyism, um, which I'm pretty sure I got from I Love Lucy, because half of the things I say that are goofy are I Love Lucyisms. Um, so yeah, so it's if I replace the music, I bet I'd be a-okay to do
Hmm.
something like Fandor.
Sure.
But I know if I don't want to do that and I just want to keep it the way it is, if I'm being really, really fussy, I should just divide it up and put it on YouTube.
Right.
And
Gotcha.
and then they'll say there's copywritten music in here, and they put their little, you know, advertisement-y things up, and it's only 5 songs.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot of music, but it's still some. So
Hmm. Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, I'm interested in seeing it if you ever get it up.
Okay, well, I have to, people keep mentioning it. People mention
Sure.
it every con I go to, and it's a matter of me just kind of, I have to, I just have to do it.
Sure. And did you ever meet his dad, by the way? His dad was like a crazy exploitation filmmaker. Did you ever meet Kent?
No, I never did. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I
he
bet I
did some
did.
crazy movies.
I bet I did when I was in elementary school,
Yeah,
but it was quite a while ago.
some crazy movies.
Okay, no, I don't know.
And
I
then go
mean,
ahead.
no, that just when I was a child is all I
Okay.
can say.
And then if you've seen in the other interviews we've done on the site, we do this free word association thing where I would like to throw some names at you, and if you could give me the first thing that pops into your head.
Okay, gosh.
It's MLP related. Okay.
Okay,
All
okay.
right. So the first one is Rarity,
High maintenance.
Spike,
Put upon.
Applejack,
Ornery.
Twilight,
Smart.
Princess Luna,
Misunderstood.
Rainbow Dash,
Fast.
and Mare.
Mare mare.
Yeah.
It took me a while. Um, I'm trying to think of the right word. Gosh. What I'm thinking of is haughty. I don't know if that's right for her, but that's what came in my mind.
All right. I'm good. I got everything.